On this Holy Wednesday, just a day before we begin Easter Triduum, in which we shall celebrate the Lord's Supper, His passion and death, and the resurrection, the Gospel reading from Matthew presents us with a profound paradox. The betrayal of Jesus by Judas Iscariot, alongside the quiet generosity of an anonymous host who offers his home for the Passover meal. Reflecting on the betrayal at the table of friendship, we note that Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, was no stranger to Jesus. He shared the ministry, the journeys, the joys, hardships, and prayers with Jesus. He dipped his hand into the same bowl with Jesus, which is a sign of intimacy and friendship. Yet, for 30 pieces of silver, he chose to betray Jesus rather than remain loyal. His sin arose from a loss of love that unites him with the Master. He lost the perspective of his discipleship. Judas' experience reminds us that in every group, in every community, in every family, it is essential to maintain the love that cements our unity and to keep everything in perspective. We too, dear friends, are often at the Lord's table. We sing, we pray, we serve, as we are doing today. But we must ask ourselves honestly, do we betray Jesus in our hearts, in our choices, in our silence? The way we conduct ourselves during exams. There are some difficult exams of some professors whom I don't want to mention. It may tempt the students to cheat, even to lead them to plagiarism. The way we exercise leadership roles. I know this is a campaign time for student leaders. There are many people who have leadership roles. How do we exercise those roles? The way we talk about others, we talk to others. And the way we act in unjust situations, are we conscious of them? Every time we compromise truth for convenience, we dip our hands in the bowl with Judas. Therefore, remaining faithful in tempting moments is not only an act of integrity, but a reflection of our commitment to truth, justice, and the way of Christ. We also witness hospitality from a stranger in the gospel. While a disciple betrays Jesus, a stranger shows him hospitality. When the unnamed householder receives the message that Jesus wants to keep Passover in his house, his response is immediate, generous, and full of trust. He responds without hesitation, no fanfare, just quiet obedience. He opens his home to Jesus and his disciples. His house becomes the upper room of communion, of friendship and love, the site of sacred memory of the Eucharist, of the Last Supper. This unnamed man becomes the silent hero we are celebrating in this Eucharist. This anonymous host without title or recognition serves as a model of radical availability, generosity, and hospitality. Yes, it is an honor, a great privilege, and a blessing if the Lord asks to stay in our homes, in our lives. The Lord wants to use our lives, our talents, our gifts. The question is, are we ready to avail ourselves generously like the unknown host? Cardinal Lavigeri, founder of the Missionaries of Africa, the White Fathers, he advised his priests, saying, "Let your esprit de corps be rooted in humility, mutual trust, and a love that prefers the needs of the other to the ambitions of the self." In fact, here he was inspired by this great man, St. Ignatius of Loyola, whom you know very well, who, in his spiritual exercise number 189, he says, "In spiritual matters, the more one divests oneself of self-love, self-will, and self-interest, the more progress one will make." I think it is true. It is in this spirit that we are called to live, to lead, and to serve as disciples of Christ. Today, in our university college context, many are preparing for exams. They are student leadership election campaigns. Others are doing thesis proposals. Others want to travel. It is a time of stress and testing. Yet, in these very moments, the question of Holy Wednesday that we are celebrating today confronts us. Will we respond like Judas Iscariot or like the generous host? Will stress close our hearts, or will faith open them in acts of service, kindness, and encouragement? The first reading teaches us about discipleship in a time of testing. The reading from the prophet Isaiah offers a vivid image of faithful discipleship. I quote, "The Lord has given me a disciple's tongue, so that I may know how to reply to the wearied. Every morning the Lord opens my ears to listen as a disciple." And we are also privileged to listen to the Lord every day. We are called not merely to succeed academically, but to speak words of life, to stand firm in integrity, and to lift those burdened by anxiety and fatigue. True leadership, especially in academic and ecclesial communities, is tested not by power, but by one's willingness to serve. As we do our campaigns, are we motivated by that will, by that desire to serve? That could be a good question for us. Judas had a leadership role. He was the treasurer. I think also we have treasurers, but I'm not talking about them. Yet he failed in love. He failed in love. The unnamed host had no formal title, but he generously opened his house, the way for Christ to be remembered forever. This reminds us of St. Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, in which he insists on the primacy of love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 1 to 3. For us, what does it mean? It is also important for us. It also means that if I master all the great theological concepts, all the theories of conflict resolution, but if I don't have love, no love for my brothers and sisters, no love for my community members, and I go around also betraying them, I am nothing. I am empty. Hekima University College is invited to continue promoting integral human formation, mind, body, spirit, and character to produce virtuous men and women for our world. We are reminded of resurrection beyond betrayal. Betrayal is not the end of the story. Jesus walks the road to Calvary. Yes, he will fall several times under the weight of the cross, but beyond the cross lies the resurrection. We are called not to despair over our failures, our shortcomings, like Judas, who will end his life, but to rise with Christ, like Simon Peter, who denied the Lord. As Nelson Mandela once reflected, I quote, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." We shall always fall. We have been falling, but He should not discourage us. We should not remain in that fallen state. Let us rise with Christ. Dear brothers and sisters, may we choose daily the path of love, of service, of generosity and truth. Let our unity be grounded in integrity, our leadership rooted in humility, and our Easter a genuine return to discipleship. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.